Hey, how's it going, friends? Welcome to VR Revelations. Thank you for tuning in. It's January 25th, the year of our Lord, 2023. Give this video a like and make sure you subscribe for future coverage. Also, check out the links below in the description if you want to support this small-time channel here. We are growing incrementally, so I do appreciate all of you who are watching. So let's jump right into it. So Germany, for the last couple of weeks, has been stalling on sending their German-made Leopard 2 tanks to Ukraine. Of course, we've seen nonstop pressure put on the German government by the United States, by NATO, and especially by Zelensky, coming on national TV multiple times to pressure the German government. And making pleas for these German 2 tanks. Now, we know that there are rumors of a large offensive, and Zelensky has been saying that time is not on their side, so they desperately needed these tanks. And so the question was, what nation was going to be first in sending the support via these tanks? We know that Britain was the first nation to promise, I believe, 14 tanks, and then pretty much all eyes were on Germany after that. And now we just had the announcement there by the Prime Minister, I believe, or the Chancellor rather, of Germany, Olaf Scholz, that they have made the decision to send German-made tanks rather, along with other nations. I think Spain and I forgot what other nations also promised to send their tanks. So initially, it was believed that, each nation was going to send their tanks one at a time. But now it seems that they've all come to an agreement to send all of their tanks together. So Russia is in an uproar, and pretty much all the TV analysts or reporters there in Russia are getting flashbacks of World War II and Nazi Germany, rightly so, I would say. And they're all calling for dramatic measures, with some actually calling for nuclear strikes on Berlin. So let's go ahead and take a look at this article here from the Daily Mail. Of course, keep in mind this is a Western propaganda news website, so you will see slight jabs taken at the Russians. But let's go ahead and read here. It says, this extremely dangerous decision takes the conflict to a new level. Furious Russia vows Western vehicles will burn as Germany confirms it will give tanks to Ukraine, prompting Putin's TV pundits to call for a nuke strike on Berlin. Russia today warned that Germany's decision to send dozens of modern tanks to Ukraine is extremely dangerous and will take the conflict to a new level. Again, Russia's been warning about this, and they're going to go through with their word, just like they did when they warned NATO on trying to make Ukraine part of NATO, right? Most of the Western powers ignored Russia, and most of the analysts and experts said that Russia wouldn't dare invade Ukraine. And now we're facing World War III as all these knuckleheads over there decided to ignore what Russia was saying, and it looks like they continue to do the same thing. So I would definitely expect things to escalate from now on. So let's keep on reading here. Bringing an end to a bitter row, Chancellor Olaf Scholz finally confirmed today Berlin will send its own German-made Leopard 2 tanks to the front lines and allow NATO allies to deliver some of theirs. Scholz even teased further deliveries of air defense systems, heavy artillery, and multiple rocket launchers, and says Germany intends to expand what we have delivered, a major U-turn on the Chancellor's previous reluctance. Russia branded the move a blatant provocation and warned the new NATO supplies will burn like all the rest, while one raging Putin propagandist called for the German parliament to be destroyed in a nuclear strike. Now, you might be apt to think, oh, well, these are just German propagandists. Well, just like in the West, with their propagandists, they actually influence public opinion, as we've seen. And that's why they have propaganda, right? We saw this in Nazi Germany. We see this in all wars, and it definitely sways public opinion. So the fact that these Russian TV pundits, as this Western propagandist article is calling them, are calling for nuclear strikes on Germany, which historically is a fierce enemy of Russia because of Nazi Germany, then you can bet that the population is going to get behind these statements. And so more pressure is going to actually be put on Putin to ramp things up. So let's keep on reading here. And Russia's ambassador today said this extremely dangerous decision takes the conflict to a new level of confrontation and contradicts statements by German politicians about the unwillingness of the German Federation to get involved in it. The United States will provide 31 M1 Abrams tanks to Ukraine in a deal worth $400 million, reports Bloomberg, while Berlin will initially supply 14 Leopard 2 tanks. They also announced they'll be training the Ukrainians to use these tanks in Germany. So we can see some pictures here, there of the Leopard 2 tank that Germany is going to be sending. You can see the famous Nazi symbol from World War II there, that cross. So again, what do you expect Russia to do, right? How would you expect them to act with the history they have? So let's keep on reading here. Russia's own storage facilities have around 10,200 tanks, while an estimated 3,300 have been deployed in Ukraine, with 1,640 destroyed. Those are definitely inflated numbers. They can't verify that nor confirm that. That's just what Ukraine is saying. But according to Ukraine, they've been winning the war all along, while at the same time losing territory. So take that with a grain of salt. Volodymyr Zelensky said he was sincerely grateful and his officials hailed the move as a punching fist for democracy, while Russia had warned it would cause a global catastrophe. Again, Russia keeps warning and they keep ignoring. It seems like the announcement of the doomsday clock didn't quite get the message through to these leaders. And escalate the war beyond Ukraine's borders. Russia had warned the supply of more tanks would leave a lasting mark and led to nothing good, with fears in Moscow that the high-tech equipment could land a devastating blow on the invading forces. I don't really think the Russians fear that. They literally just said they're going to burn like the rest of them. So, yeah, thank you for that, Daily Mail, for that propaganda there. The German leader was wary of moves that could prompt Russia to escalate, but he finally relented today. He said in a statement, "We must always make it clear in everything we do that we are doing what is necessary and possible to support Ukraine, but that at the same time we are preventing the war from escalating into a war between Russia and NATO." What? What in the contradiction? How can you actually put this statement together? We must always make it clear in everything we do that we are doing what is necessary and possible to support Ukraine by sending more weapons, but at the same time we are preventing the war from escalating. Okay, I guess, I don't know who that statement is aimed for, right? Certainly it's not for the Russians, so it's pointless. The goal was to quickly establish 2 battalions with Leopard 2 tanks for Ukraine, the statement said, adding Germany would, in a first step, provide 14 tanks from military stocks. Training Ukraine troops how to use the armor will begin in Germany soon. That's very interesting there. I'm sure the Russians are also going to take a good look at that. And the nation will also provide logistics and ammunition, it said. Germany will use the appropriate transfer permits to partner countries that want to quickly deliver the German-made tanks from their stocks to Ukraine, it said. In response, Kremlin spokesperson Dmitry Peskov said, "I am certain that many experts understand the absurdity of this idea. The plan is disastrous in terms of technology, but above all, it overestimates the potential it will add to the Ukrainian army. These tanks will burn just like all the others." Putin propagandist Yevgeny Satanovsky, president of the Moscow Institute of the Middle East, told the Waldman Line channel that nuclear-tipped missiles should be used on the center of German democracy. He said German tanks with crosses on their armor will again march across Ukraine attacking Russian soldiers, making reference to Nazi Germany there. I have a natural reaction to this. The Soviet Union bombed Berlin in 1941. And to me, this is a signal that the Reichstag, or Bundestag, which now replaces the Reichstag, simply should not remain standing any longer. Flat, slightly radioactive, melted down ground will remain in its place. Wow. So he's calling for a nuclear strike pretty much there on the Bundestag. Meanwhile, Putin's favorite propagandist Vladimir Zolovyov also ranted about the move, which he plainly sees as a significant blow to the Russian president, while also being proof in Russian eyes that Germany has directly joined the war. You can see here is the man there on the show there in Russia. So we will be looking at some video of the statements that this man made there concerning the nuclear strike. It's time to send a clear, resolute message that we now consider Germany a direct party to the conflict, rekindling memories of World War II. German tanks appearing will definitely mean we consider German territory, military bases, and other sites as legitimate targets. NATO wants to fight in this cunning way, pretending that it's not fighting. In your dreams, in your dreams. And German Defense Minister Boris Pistorius will go down in history as an imbecile who led to Germany to become a zone of direct destruction. And Chancellor Scholz too, and Foreign Minister Annalena Baerbock, the German people will know which new Nazi leaders they have raised and brought to power. That's my subjective opinion. Again, guys, the phrase, those that ignore history are bound to repeat it, comes to mind here. Another leading Putin propagandist, Margarita Simonyan, said Germany will send gas chambers to Ukraine after authorizing the tanks, alluding to the Nazis' gas chambers during the Second World War. Simonyan wrote on Telegram, Germany, after being flogged by Washington, will send 14 tanks to Ukraine. Closer to summer, deliveries of gas chambers are also expected. One official said the tanks would be brought under an upcoming Ukraine Security Assistance Initiative package, which provides longer-range funding for weapons and equipment to be purchased from commercial vendors. So there you have it, guys. Germany has made the announcement, and now all these Russian TV pundits, as the Daily Mail calls them, are pretty much escalating the rhetoric, and rightly so. Again, just about 70 years ago, they faced one of the most destructive and evil governments in the history of mankind, led by the German people, who gave power to Hitler. And this is literally a big part of Russia's history, right? It's imprinted in their memories. How could it not? It's imprinted in the memories of the world. And so the fact the Germans have now announced this support for Ukraine is pretty much giving these people the green light to tell their Russian citizens, hey, look, Nazi Germany is at it again, right? And again, these allies, they're trying to hide behind this wall or behind Ukraine, right? They keep arming Ukraine. They're now sending all these tanks to Ukraine. Meanwhile, they're declaring that they're actually fighting for peace and that they don't want to get directly involved. And as we saw there, that guy said that, in their dreams, they think that Russia is not going to, attack these other countries. If they think they can hide behind Ukraine and attack Russia through Ukraine, then they're only fooling themselves. So pretty much what I think is going to happen here is, just as the Russians have been saying all along, things are about to escalate. Do I think there's going to be a nuclear strike on Berlin? Probably not. Do I think that the probabilities of a small tactical nuclear bomb being used in Ukraine have increased? Yes. I think that things have just taken a turn for the worse. I think that things from now on are going to escalate dramatically, and we're going to have to keep an eye out on things literally by the hour now because something big is coming after this. Pretty much, Germany has crossed the Rubicon as Caesar did back in the Roman times. The die is cast. We are in a new phase. But again, friends, the truth is stranger than fiction. Anyways, thank you for tuning in. Have a wonderful day, and God bless.